It's time for a special episode of Happy Landings with your host, Jay Nowak.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And now, for today, as we approach the final phase of Happy Landings that I have at least planned for, I would very much like to say firsthand that all this time that I've put together, with more than a week worth of time, it's simply put going to be a wild ride. And from what I can gather about all of this that I've done so far, maybe or maybe not, I might have some other ways to put this stuff together. But right now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to simply talk about a couple things relating to my lawn care services. If you're not very familiar, then well, I'll go ahead and break it down for you. I basically started a new line of business. So this way, Kaiju Force Neo can now have 5 different branches of the business itself. Because, of course, you already know about the other 4, which would include movie making and, well, production of the same type, KFN Studios basically. And there's also reviews that I've done online, so I'm pretty much just going on in the basis of a critic. And then there's the third branch, which will encompass the majority of different inventions, concepts, and the like that pretty much go unveiled or noticed in a way. And there's also a showcase of some things that also happen to take place upon some of these designs and the like. And then there's the fourth and final branch, which can very much relate to KFN Studios, because it does in fact go along with it. It does in fact happen to be a natural supplier, basically an inventory-based business, which is of course where I happen to do some liquidation to it. So basically, those 4 branches alone were pretty darn good at the time. The first branch about KFN Studios, which encompasses movie making and television show broadcasting, mostly on the web, but you'd probably get the idea. Then there's the second branch, which talks about many different things, about reviewing films, television shows online, usually on sources like IMDb or the like. And the third branch, which of course unveils concepts, designs, and the like, which is of course a pretty unique way to go. And then there's the fourth branch, which is centered on inventory liquidation. But then, of course, here's the fifth and current branch that I got right now that I've had as of February 2020, KFN's very own lawn care service, known as URG Lawn Care, Urban Rural Groundskeeping. But let me just say for certain that there is certainly a lot that I would like to talk about this, because after all, the business officially has had a reign since this past February, so about 3 to 4 months it's been around for. But in addition to everything else that I've already tackled on when it comes to, well, all of the other stuff that I've worked on, then, well, let me just tell you that URG is probably going to be the best in terms of potential profit. There's many things out there that I could probably do with this lawn care services, as, well, I've already had a bunch of lawn care based work that I've done for others, including quite a few of them throughout 2018. But during spring of 2019, that's where I pretty much hit my first bank, upon having multiple clients to work with. And they were mostly senior citizens living in the area of Menomonee Falls, Wisconsin. All 3 of them, as I've got right now, and this year I do plan on expanding a bit, getting up to 9 people, or maybe 10, this whole year alone to work with. But what I can gather with, based on more recent evaluation, is that URG Lawn Care is certainly getting a little better, because after all, I do in fact have a $5 promotion that I'm getting in addition to the rest of the payments from these 3 senior citizens. So in total, every time I do lawn work for them on one particular day of the week, I would be earning $75 a week, which is kind of average in terms of how much a waiter would probably get, or someone who happens to work minimum wage within a couple of days worth of work. But in addition to that, I feel like that $75 a week, seeing as you can probably get about 5 work days a week, depending on how the month is laid out, in total, I could potentially get myself $375 a month, alongside the, well, other jobs that I happen to be working with. So what I can gather here is that if I did in fact expand up to 10 people, then the other 7, I'm hoping I could get about $35, $45 a piece. And the reason for that is because, well, some of the people that I have seen that probably would require lawn work have dimensions on their property that are much larger than the ones that I already work with. So what I can say here is that this would mean that I might get myself a bit extra to work with, and therefore I might be able to get paid extra. But it all depends on how the owners of the properties are willing to take in, and more importantly, how many of them are wanting to deal with me. Because seeing as I'm already busy with a lot of work of mine that I've done so far, there's a good chance that I might have some things that I might have interrupt my work, but nevertheless, I might as well take it on, because people out there are going to need me, whether or not they really do. So that's pretty much what I can say about the lawn care service, and the fact that it's actually going to get a lot better this year because, wow, the first thing I'd have to do would be to find people to work with. And if they will agree with me, there's a good chance I might be able to start working with them by the end of the summer. And maybe into 2021, I might be able to go back to them at the same time I'm taking care of those other 3 people and pretty much start working with them all over again. So that's pretty much it. But nevertheless, I will have a lot more to talk about before it's all over. I do have some time left, so be sure to check out more here on Happy Landings. Take care, everybody.